They really nailed the Halloween update theme this time, I'll tell you what. I mean, I've been searching everywhere through this update log, shitting my britches, and I don't see any sort of bonus content. Boom, motherfucker! It's a fucking ghost! YBA just can't change. No matter how many videos I pump out, no matter how much longer I stick around. Uzu, you have until October 31st to prove me wrong.
3 weeks later.
Oh my god!
Let's start a channel from YBA until it's been milked thoroughly. Algorithm busted, no more watch time. This is my last game. YT's playing this game, milking all that we have left. Children cling to their skins, squeezing out earth. YT's playing this game, viewership falling. Children cling on to their very last skins. Click through, rate, recommendations. You are the channel's enemy.
I can't take it. I can't fucking take it anymore. I've had it. Really. This is the final straw with people thinking I care this much about a Roblox game. Yeah, you thought I was gonna yell and scream and shit my pants about the spin rework being delayed, didn't you? You thought wrong, fucker. I ain't mad about shit. Yes, if you're still too young to utilize context clues, in other words, half of my audience, or you just aren't in the YBA Discord server on account of being such a fucking baby, in other words, the other half of my audience, the spin rework is delayed. And I know I made a big fucking deal about it last video. You have until October 31st, hard deadline, just come over behind the dumpsters of Applebee's on 59th and Central, give me some sloppy toppy like last time, this will all be over, Uzuki, yada yada, I'm sure you get it. But, while the offer does still stand, I have to admit, I really do not care all that much anymore. To be frank, I haven't really cared that much ever. Most of my videos are insanely exaggerated, and I don't think I've ever once yelled in real-world arguments. I just don't have anything to care about that passionately. But also, let's be real. You would have to have been born yesterday to not have seen this coming from light years away. I mean, some people are pulling up to the subreddit like, Uzuki, delaying an update? No, this can't be! Falling to the ground, collapsing to their knees, full-on Walter Hartwell White style, like they never felt any other emotion before. My guy, it took him nearly 2 weeks just to change a single 0 to a 1 when he realized he forgot to add Vexus Crimson back into the Halloween event. If that's how he's treating skins, the sole reason for 90% of the game's revenue, his fucking golden goose! You guys would be better off waiting for a content update from Team Fortress 2 at this point. Normally, I'd be disappointed. Normally, I'd be prancing around, spreading my resentment for Uzuki and his handling of YBA. Normally, I'd be yelling about what YBA needs to change, again, for the 18th time by this part of the video. But today, well, that's coming a little later. For now, I thought I'd share all the information I've gathered about the delay so that the 3 or 4 critical thinkers who are watching this video can make an informed, logical choice. The spin update is delayed, for unclear reasons. Uzu announced this with a simple, "The spin rework update will be delayed for a bit. We apologize for the inconvenience." Straight up as robotic and monotonous as an automated subway train announcement.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are delayed because of train traffic ahead of us. We apologize for any inconvenience.
There was no deliberation on why or how from him, probably because he doesn't want to make excuses. However, we got a few peeks at the inner workings of this broken clock from a few of Uzuki's representatives. Paragon, for one, got real of us for a second in a comment reading, In Uzu's defense, I got nothing, bruh. Big round of applause for him. Finally ending the constant charade of dick riding Uzu, and he edited his comment. Didn't add much, just had to get that weekly willy wanking in, I guess. And yeah, I can't really blame the kid if he was busy with school. If he's around my age, he's balls deep in the SAT in his junior year of high school right now, so I'm sure the guy doesn't have the perfect work-life balance at the moment. On the other hand, he did set his own deadline. It's not like we were really expecting another update from Uzu for the next 6 months. He promised us to release by this month, and he should know his limits. To add insult to injury, it seems like he purposely chose to blue ball the community by getting them to the very edge of their hype, and then, right when they were about to climax with that sweet ad, everyone pinging the updates channel, just dropping a 700-pound rock on their poor cocks and balls. A dev for the team who actually knows what the hell is going on in this black box we call YBA's dev team had an even simpler remark. Quote, "Sorry, Roblox Bug delaying." End quote. Yep. It's as simple as that. No need for a long-winded explanation about Uzu's life story, where he came from, where he's going, how we need to leave him alone because he's just a teenager, how disappointed we are in his apparent laziness, how many grams of benzoethylamine we need to go in a pipe bomb to pass detection at the USPS, or what Uzu's P.O. box is. Nope. None of it. Stop the Operation Joe's ceasefire because all it is a Roblox bug that they have zero control over. Really, it's the perfect excuse. Roblox is notorious for forcing out patches that completely ruin games. That's not just a YBA thing. Let alone the awful projectiles going backwards, let alone the month or two knives just didn't work, let alone how easily people can just hack into a game client with a script runner like taking candy from a baby. Roblox's incompetency is a constant in literally any game you go in. Just the other day, as in like a week ago, Roblox's chat filtering system just went poof! Sayonara, I'm out of here. If you're a Roblox OG, you know firsthand all the games out there that just straight up broke because of a Roblox update. Nothing to do with the developers other than not being bothered to work around it, rightly so. It is so incredibly easy to just subvert all the blame and disappointment by simply pointing the finger at an unreachable culprit punching bag. So, whether you made that up or if it's really the truth, props to you for that one, Pine. Me personally, I give it 50-50 with either a Roblox bug or Uzu just being irresponsible again. Paragon's excuse of being quote-unquote busy doesn't really work, since 1, he didn't even know what he was talking about until he edited the thing, and 2, we have a conflicting reason from Pine, an actual dev who knows what's going on in there a lot better than he does. Could it be both? Perchance. But there's also the fact that this has happened many times before, which leads me to believe Uzu's just not good at meeting deadlines. So really, it sounds to me like a mixed bag. 4 parts Roblox bug, 6 parts Uzu incompetence. In other words, what we have here is a cocktail. A cocktail of orange juice and mouthwash. Savor it while it lasts, Joes. Welcome to the first ever, and probably last ever, Cuckold Corner! There's a lot of unfiltered, grimy filth streaming around the community right now, so I thought I'd go ahead and get some community service hours in and clean this place out. Basically, we're just gonna go over the reactions from the YBA Discord and YBA subreddit as a bit of a social experiment. To observe for ourselves, myself and the folks at home, the mental effects of exposure to YBA from a young age, and to pray to whatever God is still up there that these toddlers might find their fathers once more. Let's begin. If you're carving for updates, just think about AUT, which will have neither a Halloween update or an actual update. And you know, now that he mentions it, my Big Rat game isn't getting a Halloween update either. Neither did my FNF ripoff game. Nor my unreleased second Big Rat game. I mean, fuck me, Halloween is practically cancelled this year. The point to be made here is, just because you just saw somebody getting stabbed in the streets doesn't mean it's suddenly legal. And besides, at this point it's almost like comparing apples to oranges. AUT is fucking dead. So much so that, despite my whole series on it a while back, I have never, ever bothered to talk about its death. It is so unbelievably dead that nobody wants to watch a video about it. I mean, people wouldn't want to watch a video about how 2 + 2 = 4 now, would they? YBA, on the other hand, is immortal. There's that sense of nostalgia, that forever charm of effort they used to put into it that sticks with us all and prevents a lot of us from quitting for good. YBA, no matter what Uzu does besides deleting it entirely, will always reign supreme in the Roblox JoJo playing field. It's kind of ironic, it's basically like YouTube's monopoly at this point. YouTube doesn't have any actual competitors, besides maybe Vimeo, because making a YouTube competitor just isn't profitable. People upload too many videos that cost too much to store. Out of 3.7 million videos uploaded to YouTube every day, maybe only a few thousand make a profit. Maybe back in 2005 it could have had competitors, but now that YouTube is as popular as it is now, only Google could ever possibly afford to keep it up and running. Meanwhile, YBA doesn't have any actual competitors, besides maybe AUT, because making a Roblox JoJo game just isn't practical anymore. Roblox developers are either awful at their jobs and get you 0 players, or awful at their finances and ask for thousands of dollars years before you'll make a dime off your game. Maybe in 2019, when the only competitors were just as bad script-wise, like Project JoJo, A Bizarre Day, God forbid, JoJo blocks. But nowadays, people don't play a Roblox JoJo game unless it meets YBA standards. And the only game that could possibly afford to sustain that burden is YBA. YouTube can't have competitors. YBA can't have competitors. So both are allowed to fall off horribly and still be leagues ahead of whatever competitors they have left. And yet here I am, chained to both of them as part of my only source of income. I mean, Uzu is really trying his best to release the update. If he delays the update because of his IRL problems like school, I'm totally fine with it. Because I'm sick of the YBA community shitting on Uzu because he's delaying the update. See, this is actually a pretty fair argument in my opinion, until you realize this isn't a one-time thing. This has happened, on account of his quote-unquote school, dozens of fucking times already. It's very clearly not school stopping him, and I could say this myself, having dropped off making videos significantly when school started just to immediately pick back up in October. It's an adjustment from summer, sure, but it's not the end of the fucking world, especially when you have a AAA budget and a dev team of this size. I've been doing all this shit alone with a budget thousands of times less, and I've still managed to keep a good schedule despite school. Really, the only thing stopping me from uploading in the past 2 weeks has been the lack of anything to make a video on in this boring-ass game. Meanwhile, Uzu's sitting on a prime, Midtown Manhattan development, ripe with ideas for new stands, specs, game modes and storylines, hundreds of thousands of dollars in private investment to do with as he pleases, and a community of millions just waiting to snatch up an apartment. And yet, he decides to tear it all down and build a single-family home instead. There's so much missed potential. It's just frustrating watching this place burn down with nothing but a cell phone without signal, capable of dialing yet incapable of reaching the fire department. Watching this place burn down, and yet people right outside completely denying it and saying, "Give it some time, the humidity's just a little too dry today." Yeah, give Uzu some extra time. Maybe the fire will stop then, leaving in its place a pile of ashes and broken dreams. On the other hand, an anonymous commenter says, yeah, it's his show basically, and secondly, if he doesn't, all of his fans will shit on him for not keeping a promise. Yeah, my guy used 2 connector words there and he still managed to misspell basically. But besides the awful grammar that comes like a side of fries with the chickens that make these unfounded claims, this is just plain wrong. Uzu's making millions of dollars a year, sure, he's probably already made enough to retire before he even finishes high school. But this is by no means a job for him. All this really is a random stroke of luck that, if he grabs by the balls, will ruin him in a few years' time because he chose to invest all his time in a fucking Roblox JoJo game over his own education. This isn't a stable career, there's too many risks involved. Not only is YBA on its deathbed already, but even if Uzu dedicated himself to YBA and YBA alone, let's be real here. It feels like he'd only be adding more fuel to the fire. Every update comes out with more bugs, more broken stands, more lag. I mean, have you even tried playing YBA recently? As I speak right now, I'm getting a lag spike in the 1v1 I'm trying, and only trying to play. The game has been unplayable for mobile users for months, and now it's starting to shut out the rest of its audience as well, finishing the job. Even besides all this shit about combat getting worse, skins raining over a barren land. How am I supposed to critique a game when I can't fucking play it? If Uzu continued like this, YBA would be just as playable as Cyberpunk 2077 on a microwave. So no, I don't blame him for making his education a priority. It's not his job, that's just awful terminology. He doesn't owe you jack shit, Joes. Secondly, he doesn't really have fans at this point, but if you mean YBA players, then no, people aren't really shitting on him. To be honest, I cherry-picked a lot of these examples. The majority of Joes have really only reacted with apathy, which is exactly how it should be. Apathy for the spin rework, being that it'll only probably make things worse. Apathy for the delay, being that this was completely and totally expected by everybody with half a brain. That, my friend, is the current state of Joes. And it doesn't look like it's getting any better anytime soon. One can only hope. To end the video off on a quick positive note, in my quote-unquote research, I did find this particular post on the subreddit quoting one of Uzu's comments on his own video. He says, quote, "Tusk will be fixed shortly. We apologize for the inconvenience and how long it's been. We've been working on more than just spin." That's right, the Tusk Infinite was actually a leak for the upcoming Tusk Act 4 Cannon rework! Infinite combos galore, zero counter to any of its moves, and most importantly, zero chance that you ever win against it. Just like in the manga, and I gotta say, Uzu, I am impressed! You sure have been reading up on the Act 4 lore, haven't you? Thank you all so much for watching. Like, subscribe, join the Discord down below, blah 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 blah. And I'll see you all for the Tusk Act 4 Spin Rework. Sayonara.